Hi. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. A perfect conversation for hump day, right? Okay, I see y'all are really interested in this one. Okay, so happy Wednesday and welcome to the Becky Brown Girl Show. I am your host, Becky Brown Girl, and tonight we are talking about the pleasure principle and the art of intimacy. Let me see if my guest is on yet. I did just text her to let her know I would be on, but in any case, before she joins, I just kind of wanted to talk about why I wanted to talk about this topic. Um, so I've done a couple shows um, around intimacy and compatibility, sexual compatibility in the past. But tonight I wanted to talk more about the art of intimacy and how you can, hopefully use the information to improve your love lives. I'm not a relationship expert. However, I am bringing somebody on who does have some expertise, and of course, I will share my own, anecdotal, experience related to this topic a little bit. um, I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on, but as I said, I think it's important for if you're gonna be doing it that you do it and do it well, right? Like, what's the point if you're not getting enjoyment out of the experience? But before you even get there, right? Intimacy is it begins here, right? It starts between your ears, and then it evolves from there. So I have Ebony Just Love joining me this evening. Ebony is the mother of two young adults. She's a young 41, but looking like she's 21. Master herbalist specializing in vaginal and sexual organic healthcare. You can follow her at Love Yourself Herbal, and she also has a website, LYS for Love Yourself Herbal.com. But I'll put all that information in the chat, and I'm gonna go ahead and add her now. Previous show I did. She's quite entertaining, I must say. Hopefully she'll be on in a minute. Okay.
Hey,
Huh?
girl.
That's funny because I was gonna do one too, but
Hey, boo.
hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I did your intro this time,
I
but is there
heard.
anything?
Yeah, and I was like, did I tell her to say I was 41 on it?
Listen, but look at 21, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So if you want to add anything else to introduce yourself before we get started.
No, I'm good. You did good. You can do your thing and we can jump right into this thing,
Okay.
girl.
Don't mind me. I'm just
Is it
over here
hot?
having
You having personal summers?
something. You know what?
Girl, I have a couple of fans around here too.
Uh,
Listen.
yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on here, so maybe it's like nervous excitement. But anyway, um, so like I said, the reason that I wanted to talk about this topic is because I think just in my experience of talking with friends, in particular male friends, like I know that men and women are different, like the way we communicate is different, the way we think is different, and so on. So it's not just strictly sort of focused on the men, it's really about how you improve the intimacy, right? And pleasure in your relationships. Um, if they're casual relationships, if they're deep and meaningful relationships. I mean, I think it's easier when when there's meaning attached to it, right?
Absolutely.
But
You know, everybody is not getting together with the intention of connecting.
No, a lot of people aren't, unfortunately. But
you know why they getting together.
but when people don't establish a connection, like I've talked about in the past, you're really missing out on another level
So
of
much.
pleasure, right? Right? Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would
Yes.
say that. I do. I feel like intention is everything. I feel like people when people get with other people with no intention, just like, you know, I just want to sleep with them. I just want to fuck them. You know
Right.
what I mean? You don't know what you're really missing. You're missing out on such a dope experience that you could have with an amazing, who could potentially be an amazing human being. You know? Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and the thing is, like, you might, to me, I feel like you might find from talking to them and getting to know them on a deeper level, or attempting to do that, that really, y'all aren't going to connect.
Yeah.
So the experience will be mid. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but even a good experience that you might have with somebody that's just strictly casual will never compare when
No.
to somebody that you have a connection with. It just won't.
Because
So,
it doesn't
fellas,
even have to necessarily be a sexual connection. You could be just connecting to get to know a person, connecting to network, just a connection. But going into situations, you know, and just saying, they look good, I want to fuck them, and I'm out. If that's what you want, that's cool. You get what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you want and that's all you out here looking for. But I just feel like at this big age, that's crazy.
I know
At
people do it.
this big age, like, don't, you know, because even if you do have sex and it's just like on some one night stand type shit, I feel like you still can connect. Like, let's chat, let's talk. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have those problems because I have such a good sense of discernment. And if a person is giving me some, I'm just trying to fuck energy, I'm out. Like, that's just not what I'm interested in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
it's no.
I know exactly
Not
what you
now.
mean.
You should have hollered at me about 25 years ago. We could have been in and out, in and out. But
That part. Is my mama on here?
in and out. But at this big age, I'm not trying to I don't want to fuck you. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your career is. You know, like, you need to be able to converse.
Right. That is the part.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part
But
that
I feel like that's a lot of the problem too, is that communication is so lost
Mhm.
these days. And people are so awkward with it now because everybody's texting and messaging and just all of the technology woes. I feel like the communication piece is so much harder than what it used to be. I come from a time when we were outside actually directly connecting to people, like meeting people,
humans.
conversing, you know, eating together, you know, just all of the things. It wasn't so much communication over technology.
Yeah.
And I feel like communication is definitely so lost.
No.
And people are just uncomfortable, like, just even having dialogue in person or on the phone or anything. Just
But they're
dialogue.
comfortable talking crazy online and saying anything that comes to
But
mind.
comfortable, that's because that's a false reality. So when you're sitting behind a screen and you can become somebody that you're not, who you aren't really, or who you wish that you were, you know what I mean? Then you're comfortable. And then the whole time, that's not even who you are. But who you actually are could be a really beautiful person if you weren't trying to be something or someone else. Be yourself, you know, stop being afraid to put whoever you are on the table. Why are you trying to be like X, Y, and Z? Because you admire their personality or their demeanor or who they are or how they act. Somebody might feel the same way about you. You know what I mean? You're gonna lose yourself and lose your identity and trying to create such a false reality, and that, you know, it's just not who you are. I hate that so much, because I hate that so much, because I've been through that with people, men and women.
Yeah.
Because I'm such an extrovert and I meet people all the time and I'm always talking to people. And you can only put that facade up for so long, right? Like it's eventually going to fade away. And you meet people and you meet their representative and you're like, well, they're okay, whatever. But I like people, so I'm willing to give it a shot or whatever and talk to people and befriend people and network with people and help people in their businesses. Whatever people come to me for, I'm always open. Then about a month or two down the line, I get to know who they really are. And I'm like, you're really a dope ass person. Like, why weren't you? Yeah. Why weren't you like this for the past 60 or 90 days? Who were you?
Well, boy,
who were you?
I'm not giving you that much time, though.
Well, in the dating world, I'm not giving anybody that much time, but I'm just saying in general, everybody is out here suffering from these identity crises, and it starts in the home, really, because if you don't make it a comfortable environment for your children to really be who they are, growing up in a time now where people are searching for identities. I've had grown women, that I've met that were really like searching for their identities.
Yeah.
And a lot of that really starts in the home, letting your kids know that it's okay to be whoever you are, wear whatever you want to wear, do whatever you want to do. You don't have to be who I am. You don't have to be like me. Be who you are.
No,
I feel
wholeheartedly
like
agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
Crisis is so bad. It's so bad.
But I think that again, so like assuming that you found somebody that you connect with, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it has to strictly be confined to dating situations. There's a lot of married people who don't know how to articulate their needs, which is crazy. You would think that somebody that you're that closely connected to,
in such
you can really talk to. You can talk to them
way,
about anything, right?
Like you lay down with this person every day, but you don't lay down with them.
Right.
This representative that you want is who to be or act like is who lays down with them, and then later on down the road, you decide to just who you really are comes out, and now we're headed for divorce because I didn't even marry this person. I married somebody.
Right. But so I'd like to know like how you would recommend, right? Well, first of all, we've established that communication is critical to like building true intimacy, like peeling back the layers.
Yeah.
You have to be dealing with somebody that you feel really comfortable being your whole authentic self with, because if you don't, why are you intimate with them?
I don't know. For me, it's so crazy, and I hate to cut you off, and I'm gonna lose this. For me, it's so crazy because I don't know if there's a time when I'm not my authentic self. I don't know how to not be this boisterous, loud, crazy, outspoken woman. I don't know how to not be her. So it's so confusing to me when people feel like they can't be who they really are. And when they say things like that, and I'm like, why? Like, what trauma? Who, like, what have you been through?
Yeah,
because why can't you just be who the fuck you are?
You're lucky. You're lucky because everyone is not self-aware, as self-confident. Whatever it is that they're missing, go to therapy. Therapy is an aid for a lot.
So needed in the community. Is bad.
Yes. So I kind of wanted to talk about again.
So often. We always do this.
No, I know, but I wanted to talk about how couples can or whomever it is that you're partnered with, right, can talk to one another about like what pleases you in a way that makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like again, you need to feel comfortable with the person that you're that you laying down with, right? But intimacy, as we discussed earlier, begins well before that. And if you have difficulty communicating openly with the person about non-sexual things, then you're definitely going to struggle once you get to that point.
You're going to struggle everywhere.
you're not going to get the full
experience.
like experience, right? Because you know, you not
You're gonna
articulating
struggle
your
with that.
needs.
I feel like when it comes to intimacy, because I deal with so many couples trying to help them get the spark back, I guess you could say, in their relationships and in their marriages. And I feel like the main problem is always I don't feel like I can be vulnerable
Yeah.
with my partner.
Yep.
The vulnerability part.
Yeah. Yep.
And to me, and these aren't new couples. These aren't new couples that have only been together a couple weeks or even a couple months. Most of the time, these are people who have been together quite a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm so vulnerable up front though that it's crazy. And I realize that everybody's not like me, right? Because a lot of people have to feel like they are in a safe space to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And my question to them is you spent all these years in a space where you didn't feel comfortable, you didn't feel safe. You spent all of this time in a space where you don't even feel safe, right?
Yeah.
And so what kept you there?
I mean, you
Like
know that people get married. You know that people get married for a lot, or even stay in long-term relationships for a lot of different reasons. It's convenience.
I get
It's financial
financial,
dependence.
all of
Yeah.
that, but not vulnerability. Like you stayed in a space where you don't feel safe for years, and now we're 10 years down the road and you want to learn how to be vulnerable with your partner.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
is
but you know what though?
mind boggling to me. Like I'm talking explosive.
But,
What?
but the thing is, I think that again, like I mean, you're younger than me, but just thinking about the time that we basically grew up in, like, especially for men, like there was no space for them to
No, and
be
I get that.
vulnerable.
I get
And
that.
even nowadays, we call them sassy and we call them
And
zesty and
I
soft and
100% get that. But there's no way in hell I'm staying with someone for 10 years, man or woman. Like, if I was a man or a woman, I'm staying with someone for 10 years and I don't even feel safe with you. How? And this is why a lot of couples have not been able to get to true intimacy. Baby, you are having them. Oh, that fan. The fan is cute, though, okay?
it's kind of like coordinated
The
too, right?
fan
Yeah,
is
I'm hot.
fan.
And I had an air on. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Is your air working?
Yes.
That is so funny. But yeah, so I just feel like you're never going to get to a true space of deep connective intimacy if you are afraid of being vulnerable, because that is a true open vulnerability that comes with being completely just putting yourself out there.
So I don't want to jump ahead, but I am because you said something earlier that, I was like, oh, wait, save this for later, right? So jumping ahead to the like actual physical sexual intimacy part, right? Um, we were talking about like how people use porn as
Yeah.
well, men typically use porn as like a guide of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And really, like, I think I'm assuming, right, that most people learn how to do sex by doing what comes to them naturally, right?
Yes.
There isn't like, so if you're using a guide, then yeah, it probably would be porn is like, oh, maybe that's how it's supposed to look. Now, you figure stuff out as you go along, but like there's nothing wrong with trying to learn something new, right? To please your partner again and making sure that you're getting pleasure out of the experience too. It should not be something that you do not enjoy. Because why are you doing it
Why?
otherwise, right?
Why? thing that you don't enjoy. I just feel like the porn thing has gotten so out of control that people are going to it. Like, you're basically in a relationship with porn. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't feel like I'm so deep that my intimacy is on a whole nother level. Nobody that ever has sexual situations with me will ever need to go to porn to find out what it is that I might like or that I might want. I'm very boisterous.
Yep.
And I'll show you.
Right.
We can discussion about it. I'll even teach
But see,
you know
but again, once again, I'm going to go back to the point that you obviously are, with somebody that you're connected to. Because when you have no connection to somebody and is literally just about that, then most people don't feel comfortable, which is crazy. Like, you feel comfortable letting somebody in your body, like a virtual stranger, right? But you can't even talk to them about what it is that you want, what you like, and to make
and
the
those deeper
experience.
conversations, those connect, and that goes back to the communication piece, because intimacy starts so far before you even enter the room of sex, even before you enter the conversations of sex. The dialogue itself should be intimate at a certain point. You can get a woman to the point where when she sees you, she is dropping to her knees just from having good conversation and healthy dialogue.
Yeah, the men are
It doesn't
like,
even
how?
have to involve sex.
But they don't want to talk.
Attentiveness.
They don't want to talk.
Conversations on a deeper level. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
a lot of it has nothing to do with sex, but the build up, and by the time that we make it to the sex, baby, what are we doing? Like,
the build up.
What are we doing?
But they don't want to do the build up. They don't want to do the build up.
Do that work. And
they don't want to do the build up.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part, because that's actually the most exciting part.
Yeah.
You can get me excited through conversation. What did he say?
So Don Henry said most dudes need to take a few English classes, and so do I, apparently. And then Cam GOA said, can you speak to building desire in women and maintaining it? Communicate.
Communication.
Start with that.
Attentiveness. And keeping up that whatever tone you said in the beginning, and it may be difficult because it's not always realistic that it can stay fireworks, but try to maintain it as much as you possibly can.
I gotta not touch the phone because it keeps pausing. I don't know.
Oh, every time you touch
it, it's paused with me looking like this, right? Nah. So okay.
Yes, but yeah, I just feel like that piece of that's what courting was all about. You know what I mean? People always think that courting has to do with whining and dining and spending so much money, but it was actually an entire process.
Yep.
The build up, the initial conversations, making me feel like we talk. You know how when you're young, right? That young love, and you're on the phone until you both fall asleep, and then the minute you get up, you calling each other again, right? That level of excitement just from conversation, because you were young, you really couldn't do anything else besides the ones that was out here running around going crazy when they were young. But that build up, the conversing, the telling me your goals and your desires, your dreams, telling me how you feel about certain things, letting me get to know you, you're getting to know me. That buildup is so important. That is the intimacy. That is the intimacy before the intimacy.
My thing is, again, because I don't think that's, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm attacking like the men, because I'm not. But y'all do be very eager to get to, the bottom line, instead of not all, right? Not all are that way.
Not all,
but some seem very eager to get to the bottom line. I'm like, damn, why don't you even see if, like, because to me, right, like I said earlier, if the experience is like, oh, I'm just trying to get a nut. Well, you can do that by yourself. Like, you're missing out on the experience, right? The whole entire incredible experience, because you are not stimulating the mind first. You're just trying to
The mental
stimulate the
stimulation
cat.
definitely the most important part. And when I have couples who have been together for some time and they're to the point where they are basically about to leave the relationship or cheat on each other, right? And they're trying to get a spark back or get the intimacy back or whatever. The first thing I tell them to do, right, is to think of 5 topics. 5 topics that you feel, because everybody changes, grows, and evolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 topics that you feel like you would love to discuss with your partner that you have not discussed with them. And these are places where you are in life right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part about that is when they write those topics down and they come back to me and they say, okay, what's the next step? And then we had, the discussion. You just blindly pick. You sit together in a vulnerable state, not at a table, not around other people, just in a space with you and her, an intimate space. And you pick that one topic and you say, this is what I would like to discuss. And they talk about those things. They come back to me and they say, it's so crazy because we talked all night long and we haven't done that in years, right?
Oh.
And they enter into a new space of intimacy and they've been together for so long, but you realize that you get caught up in life so much that you're not talking, you're not sharing the updates of your life, the updates of your feelings, the changes you've made that no one knows about, the things you may be going through that no one knows about, including your partner. You're not intimately sharing yourself vulnerably to your partner. And you lose, and in that you don't just lose your communication with each other, you lose your intimacy with each other, you lose your passion for each other, you lose everything, because those conversations, just like they were important in the beginning, they are important to maintain throughout the relationship. You cannot lose the communication, you can't lose the vulnerability, you can't lose that excitement that you had in the beginning. It's going to change, it's going to evolve, it's not going to stay the same, right? It's going to look different in every stage of your life. When you change, your conversation changes, everything about you changes. You have to keep your partner up on your changes. Listen, I need to talk to you, this is what's going on in my life, it's very exciting for me, I just need you to listen.
But you know what? A lot of people don't know how.
We're losing communication.
Men in particular, like I saw a reel which is hilarious, and it's a guy asking a woman how's her day, and it's like he wrote it on a piece of paper, like it's a man, a woman, and then how you get to like you had a good day, right? So the woman asks the man, how was your day? He says good. He draws a straight line to the good. The woman is like, and this happened, like all around the world until she gets to good. But because she's actually telling you what happened in the day, meanwhile the man is, you know nothing about what happened in that man's day. Like, that's generally the way men communicate. But because they're not being explicit in their wants and needs and desires,
But
and they talk about
you
us,
partner, if you know that in order for you to get the meaningful conversation that you need from your partner, that sometimes you have to ask questions, it's nothing wrong with that. Ask the question. What, and then maybe they'll open up. Just ask the question. But what happens when partners lose that communication? Women are going to talk regardless. Now, if you don't want us to talk to you, we're going to talk. And you know what happens? We start to build that intimate connection with our work husbands, or the man on the train that we see every day, or you know what I mean, just a familiar, comfortable space. We're going to talk. It's gonna happen.
Yep. Exactly.
So I can't talk to you, and you don't make me feel like I'm not in a space anymore. I'm not comfortable enough to talk to you. I'll talk to the UPS guy. I'll talk.
Share with the mailman.
Women are going to talk.
Yep.
So men need to remember to make that space for us to talk. And women also need to remember to shut the fuck up and listen to the men in our lives as well. I feel like it goes both ways, because sometimes we'll just get talking and we've gone through our day. They know everything about us if they were listening, and we don't know a damn thing that's going on with them. But all of it goes back to communication. Communication is so important. And the fact that we're losing communication and this new generation is growing up under technology, and they're not even utilizing the skill of communication enough where they would be doing it when they get older. And it's not, it won't be familiar to them. I feel bad. I feel sad for them, because communication is so important in so many ways. And for a meaningful connection, you have to have a good, comfortable, safe, vulnerable communication. You just have to, or you're going to have a fraudulent ass connection, and it's not going to be meaningful. It's not going to be authentic. Nothing about it's going to be authentic. It's going to be fake. And that's what the basis of the relationship is going to be. Just like that fake ass communication.
Listen, I agree. But okay, so once they get past, like in that instance with the couple, right? Once they get past, now they've unlocked this new level of.
He's gonna deliver all types of packages. Surely will.
I bet, but no. Once they unlock that new level of intimacy, then what? Then what do you recommend they do?
Your phone froze. Or whatever you're on.
No,
froze.
No. I was. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
No.
What'd you say?
I was saying once they unlock that new level of intimacy, like the couple that you were talking about before, now they're like seeing each other with new eyes again. Then what do you recommend that they do?
So I make them black out 60 minutes. It's steps before we lead up to the new sexual experiences that they start to have after they have connected in a new intimate way. Because the passion, baby, the passion that comes with a good connection is crazy. But I tell them block out 60 minutes. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in, it has to be scheduled, because life just lifes, and everybody's, these jobs and focused on bills and just life, period. Block out 60 minutes just for a new and fresh conversation with a brand new topic for the next 7 days, right? So on that list, it has to be 7 topics. And for 7 days, for 60 minutes, they need to converse just about those topics, right? That are meaningful to them, that put on their list of 7 topics. And I also tried little things in there, like you sit across from each other, kind of like Indian style, and you give direct eye contact. And one of the topics you talk about just like that. Another time you put on blindfolds. And you talk about your topic with blindfolds, right? And you kind of dig into your other senses. Just things before we get to sex, like talk during a massage. 30 minutes of massaging him, 30 minutes of her massaging you. No sex, just conversation, right? No sex. Haven't gotten it yet.
You know they do a couple of like
not alcohol
rubs, a couple booty rubs, and then it's over.
No. This needs to be a very intimate situation without sex. We have not gotten to sex yet.
Okay.
Then you know, I like for them to know each other's, because you know your music style changes.
Mm-hmm.
What music are you even listening to these days, right? And so I like for them to create a playlist and share it with each other. And
I
when
like
they're
playlists.
not,
I said I
huh?
like playlists.
I like
It's a love
playlists too.
language.
And on your way home from work, listen to your partner's playlist. This is what they've been listening to lately. This is how they're feeling, because most of the time your feelings come through the music that you're listening to, right? In that moment.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
Uh,
Nothing. Anyway, so carry on. Go ahead.
well, whoever said that, a lot of these people are married that I'm talking about, but some of them aren't. And
Yeah, listen, I mean, look,
a lot of these couples that I know of are married, been married for years, and are bored with each other, and they're trying to save their marriages. A lot of them aren't married; they're just in relationships, and they're trying to keep the spark going,
yep.
and learn deeper ways of intimacy.
I want to discuss how, okay, so then I know some people feel like abstinence till marriage, okay, but once again, okay, we're talking to everyone, right?
Yeah.
So if that does not apply to, I mean, if abstinence until marriage applies to you, then
Because
then
baby, I was not absent. And I thank God for my children. I love them to death. But baby, when I tell you that I was,
right, okay.
I come from the teen pregnancy era, so baby.
Listen, so I understand, but you know, I get that is
What
that
works for you?
person's belief
I feel
system.
like what works for you.
Yeah,
If
do
abstinent works for you, you do what works for you.
correct. It's not about pressuring, right? You to
Yeah.
think, well, this is what you should do. You should do what works for you. However, if that is not your
Sure.
ministry, right? Then and you are
Because
in
I
it.
know a lot of people who didn't have sex before. I have had couples who didn't have sex until they got married, and then they realized they didn't have a sexual chemistry and could not make it work, and couldn't
Mm-mm.
the sexual chemistry work for them, and they realized that they just weren't meant to be, and they got their marriages annulled.
Yeah, you got a sample. I'm sorry.
And they
Anyway.
stayed it for years. I feel like everybody's journey is different.
It 1000% is, but I want to discuss when you have a couple, right? So let's say they're not married, right? Or even if it's not a couple, it's just whatever the relationship is, but it's somebody maybe that you have that you deal with on a regular
Yeah.
basis, right? Some people do not feel comfortable expressing, you know, what it is they like and don't like, right? And so you're just
So
accepting
teach each
mediocre
other.
experiences.
Yeah.
Why? So
Yeah.
so so my thing is like, because of course now that I'm older, I'm more inclined to say if I don't like something or I do like something, but you have to have a rapport with somebody to feel comfortable communicating with them. But again, if you don't really have a rapport
So
like
this
that with them, then you probably
person
shouldn't be sleeping
said,
with them in the first place.
where does comedy help with developing
Are
intimacy?
you a
Right.
comedian?
First of all the funny men out here know that it's a little easier for them.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
Because if you can make her laugh, and I mean like really make her laugh, like not like a fake laugh, but like a deep laugh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're constantly making her laugh, and it's not corny.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Yeah.
like a corny type of joking. Like you're like really funny, because I'm funny. I think that I'm funny. Men tell me I'm funny all the time. And so like I don't know, you know, it's just it breaks the ice, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
it builds that comfortability a lot faster when you're crying, laughing, and
Yeah.
sliding, and like it just breaks the ice, and it makes you more comfortable a lot faster. So that's comedy
Let me
helps.
ask
But
Let me ask you something.
what
Have you ever had an experience with somebody who doesn't talk? Like who doesn't talk during sex? Don't you find that weird? I find it weird as hell. I'm like, I can't do this. Cause what's wrong with
I
you?
was about to say, I talk my shit, so I can't. I don't like boring sexual experiences, even before the actual intercourse part of sex, like doing the foreplay, doing the massage, doing the, the fruit and the ice and just all of the fun things, just all of yes, talk your shit.
Yeah.
Like talk, even if you don't talk big shit, because I'm gonna talk big shit. But if you don't talk big shit, just a little, just talk your stuff, like say something.
Like, again, I always want you to be who you are, but
Yeah.
I just find it really weird because I'm like,
weird for silent sex. Like, what the fuck are you thinking about?
Exactly. Like again, that's a type
like,
of situation.
Silent sex is so boring. What are you fucking thinking about?
Because I have somebody said that's
rape.
Exactly. Because what do you have to concentrate on so hard that you can't talk? Like, it's weird.
Like, what the fuck are you thinking about? Like, and I will, like, I've actually, and this is so crazy because I was young and wild as shit, right? But somebody I was having sex with wasn't saying anything, right? But he was making this face that looked like he was about to fucking cry. And so I think, what the fuck is this face you making? So I didn't say it. Right? But in my mind, I kept wanting to say, why the fuck are you making that face? Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I told you I wasn't going to cuss so much. No. And so,
for emphasis, you can do it for emphasis.
So he kept, and it looked like he was about to cry. He was getting emotional, and it kept getting worse and worse. Right? So I'm going to turn over, like, all right, fucking just hit it from the bed. Because at this point, I can't keep looking at your fucking face. And so he was making these little sounds. And I'm like, is this thing about to cry? So then when he turned me back over, and I just kind of got lost in the moment, God smacked the shit out of him. And I was like, why are you making that face?
What did he do? Oh,
girl, he said, I'm sorry, I was feeling so emotional. And I said, emotional like what? Said, I just felt so emotional. And I was like, well, you weren't even saying anything. And I was so young, so for anybody that's like, I'm not violent. Like, I'm not a violent person. I was really young.
Oh my God.
I couldn't take it. I could not take having sex with him, and he was just making his face like he was about to bust out crying. Because if he'd have bust out in the tears, it would have been over.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna add
like that where he about to be crying doing sex. But I said that to say, like, if he would have just talked to me about how he was feeling or what he was thinking or what was going on in his mind, you know what I mean? I would not have been in my head saying, why the fuck is he making that face? I wouldn't have been in my head so much. Talk to me. Share your feelings. Share your thoughts.
Wait. Can we?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Right. So do y'all know each other already?
No. I'm trying to understand. Like, if I was in the middle of like mid-stroke and someone smacked me, that would be crazy.
Hold on. When you come on, you have to introduce yourself. So
I'm sorry.
Okay. Since I added Raftery first, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then you can introduce yourself and share, your thoughts.
Hey, what's good?
Okay, my bad.
What's good, everybody? Ratchery, Rome, out of Brooklyn, New York. Just want to hop on the live and share some thoughts and stuff, and add to the. She's funny as hell. She is funny as hell.
Yeah, she is funny.
Okay. I have been calm on this one. On this live this time.
I don't know if you were here when we did Dating 101.
Yeah, I was on with her.
Oh, I've been calm on
No, you weren't.
I was gonna be on my behavior.
Yeah. I thought only Darius was on that one. Well, anyway. Okay, and then Cam.
Yeah, how are you doing? I'm sorry. That was a wild story. I was like, what? Just a smack? That's crazy. So yeah, Cameron Gomez. I'm from Seattle. I'm between here and Charlotte. So yeah.
Okay, all right. So we got B Moore, BK, Jersey, and on the west side, Seattle. Okay. So fellas, what are your thoughts on how to create intimacy, or do you want to comment on something that Ebony said earlier? So Rome, you can go first, and then Cam.
when it comes to the communication part, she's 100% on the communication part. Like I said, I learned the hard way, because I didn't communicate in my last relationships. I was a person that just was quiet. Now, when it came to the sex part, that was different. But as far as sharing your feelings and thoughts on everything, yeah, you got it. You really got to talk. You got to share your thoughts with a person, because that also does lead to the intimacy, leads to the things that you want to engage with the person that you're with. Because as you get to learn certain things about her, she will open up more to you. And then you get to really understand areas on how you can please her better when it comes to that. Now, when you're in the bedroom, of course, you definitely don't want to be silent. That's
It was weird. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It was weird. And had I not been so in the moment, because the dick was good. So I'm like, I need more, like the dick was good. So I'm not going to just get up and say, all right, I'm out. But I need you to open your fucking mouth and talk. Like, what are you doing? And why do you keep making this face? It was this face he kept making, right? So, and I was like, this nigga's about to bust out into tears. This nigga's literally about to bust out crying.
Exactly.
And so the only thing that came to my mind was if I smacked him, maybe he'll be comfortable. So I just smacked the shit out of him real hard. And he kind of threw his head back a little bit and was like, why you do that? He's still stroking, like we still fucking. And I'm like, open your mouth and talk. What's going on with you? Like, what are you talking? What, say something?
Did he say anything though?
Yeah, eventually he just said, I just felt so emotional and I didn't know if we were there yet, so I didn't want to jump the gun. He was like, because the things that I would have been saying to you would have been very intimate, and like this moment just felt so good to me. And I said, well, why the fuck you ain't say that? Like, just say that.
Was that his first time?
That was the first time we had sex. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We dated for about 3 months before we had sex, 3 or 4 months before we had sex. And then that was the first time we had sex. And he said that he didn't want to jump. He was afraid to jump the gun, but he was not the type of person that could hide his emotions clearly, because the face was driving me crazy. It was like, what the fuck is this face? Like, Are you getting ready to cry? Are you having a mental breakdown? What is this face?
Okay,
so after that, it's so crazy, and I hate to jump ahead real quick, but after that, we were conversing, and he said, I just want to ask you a question. He said, are you violent? And I said, no, I promise I'm not violent. I said, hell no, I'm not violent. I said, I don't know why I did that. I was led to smack you. I felt like any other way you would not have truly opened up. I felt like maybe you felt scared or frightened, and so the only thing I could think was to smack the shit out of you, break the ice, and now we're here.
Break
So,
the ice.
fellas, now that we have the two fellas on there, have you, like, is there a reason that you would be quiet? Like, to me, again, I'm thinking, are you concentrating? Like, what is you doing?
You want to get this first, Rome, or you want me?
You go ahead. I'm coming in.
Okay. So mind you, quick backstory is that my first person that I had sex with or intimacy with was my wife. So she was my first girlfriend and she was my wife, and I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't. So yeah, I came from a Christian background. By the time I was like 22 and like my beliefs had changed, I was like, I may as well just wait, right? So I lost my virginity at like 25, wow. Right? So with that being the case, you don't have a lot of experience in certain things, and I do have to salute her, even though like we're not on good terms. Like there was definitely like a teaching thing there. But all that being said is that not having had intimate experiences with a lot of people, like you don't kind of know what to say. Like so sometimes, like you said, it could be concentration. You can kind of like, I know the only talking that I did initially was like just making sure that I was like, trying to get feedback, positive feedback to see like, okay, am I helping you out? So, that helped. Right. But then sometimes you're just like, oh, like, okay, so different women, different things, So it's like you're trying to still figure each other out. So when she said she slapped him, I was like, oh, snaps. I wonder how that how that works.
There's definitely no one size fits all. Like you really have to get to know the person that you're with and figure out what they like and dislike if you want to establish something like, more than a hit and
So
quit.
So I have,
he wasn't angry. He wasn't
so I have
angry
a
at all.
question.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the question for, I guess, both you all is, if a person doesn't have a natural inclination, for instance, I'm a communicator by nature, so like I can kind of figure things out. What advice would you give to either help them communicate more or to help fill the void that might exist there until, like, he's more comfortable or something? Like, what would, like, I don't know, music, or like maybe like changing up positions so that you guys are more stimulated? Like, I'm interested
So,
in what advice you would give a
like
man.
during the actual act of sex, or just in general?
Yeah, so
During,
like I said, yeah.
during.
Just to act, just during the act, yeah.
So I would say, I would say the music. So if find music that you both like, play it during sex, and just start with small things. It doesn't have to be a whole conversation during sex or a whole sentence, or like you don't got to talk your big shit. But just start with small things. Like tell me, and I would encourage the person who is the talker to ask the person who isn't the talker questions. Not the general questions like, how does my pussy feel? Of course, he gonna be like, oh, that shit feel good. But like, like questions, just small questions. Like, are you okay? Are you,
Mm-hmm.
are you enjoying this moment? How do you feel? Just things to make them more comfortable. Are you comfortable? Do you like this position? What position would you like me in?
Mm-hmm.
What
It's very nice. I'm not gonna talk like that. Like,
what would you like me to do? But for a person that's introverted during sex, you have to talk like that, because if you get too aggressive, it's not gonna do anything. Really make them shut down.
what I'm gonna do is I just won't do it again. I'm gonna be like, oh, all
Whoa.
right.
So then, what if you really like the person though? I like this nigga that I smacked the shit out of.
Why? Because I might ask them like, well, I'm gonna ask them like, did you like? Because if you don't talk, I don't know what is going on.
Why couldn't you ask that when he was in you, when he was
Yeah.
stroking you? Why couldn't you put your hand on his face right here and say, how does this feel? Like, tell me how this feels, or what part of me can I touch? Or you just don't, are you sexual? Or, yeah.
Is my mom on here?
I don't
Now you
know. But I just feel like if you really like a person, you have to also respect their boundaries. People have different boundaries, right? And sometimes it is harder. Like now that I'm this big age I am now, I know that I didn't have to smack him. We should have had a few conversations about sex. We had such a chemistry that I don't think we even ever talked about sex before we had sex. We talked about the world. We talked about everything. We talked about life and goals and the future and love. We didn't even talk about sex. And had I made him feel comfortable with the progression that we were at in that moment, he would not have felt afraid to open up during sex. You feel what I'm saying? I could have helped him with that. But because we didn't have sexual conversations before, we talked about many things, but it really wasn't sex. And then when we had sex, I was like, oh my God, this shit good. He better marry me. At the time, not no more. But
you know what?
I could have made him feel more comfortable, more secure, more safe, and in being vulnerable with me in that moment. But he felt like if he was vulnerable with me, that would have turned me off, because it would have felt like he was moving too fast. Yep. You feel what I'm saying?
100%.
I mean,
think about this some more, but I do, because I had an experience, with someone in my single life, which is whatever. Anyway, who was actually somebody that I dealt with many, many, many years ago. And well, you know what? I'm saying too much. The point is that he was quiet and like, see, to me, I'm thinking if it feels good to me, then I'm assuming it feels good to you. Or if it feels like mid, then I'm assuming that's how it feels to you too. Like,
you can't assume that though. That's a part of communication too, because Your favorite position, which might feel mind blowing to you, might be him hitting it from the back, right? But for him, he all in when he missionary. So those are all conversations that have to be had. He might not even like hitting it from the back. You know what I mean? That might not be his thing. Or
I'll
go
say,
ahead. I'm sorry.
for the ladies, like if you're in a missionary position with the guy, are you having the facial expressions that it's feeling good to you, but is he able to see your facial expressions and know that, hey, it's really feeling good to you? Because if you're just laying there like a dead fish, his response is gonna be
Well,
like,
see, I talk my big shit. I ain't never laying like no big fish. Like I talk my big, but I get what you're saying. And not only that, are we completely in the dark? Because that whole totally in the dark
oh,
sex,
I don't do the dark.
like that's crazy. It needs to be a little bit of light. Make a person feel comfortable and safe, and they won't mind having sex in a little bit of light. And then
dark is weird. That shit is weird. Like having sex.
that's weird too. And then some men like eye contact. Some women like eye contact.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because you can read so much through the eyes. Yep. If I look at you a certain way and we having sex and we lock eyes and you don't catch this vibe,
but
then
you gotta be careful with the eyes thing, because you lock eyes with the dude, he might end up reaching that point like, oh shit, and he done.
The locking eye thing might be a little crazy sometimes, because all of a sudden shit get intensified when you lock eyes, but that is also a way to let a person know how you feel without letting them know how you feel. The guy that I smacked, we wasn't even locking eyes. His face just looked like he's just about to cry.
Wait. I have to go back to this comment because it sent me to the moon. But hold on. Sean Mark Live, he says, can I wear my Phantom of the Opera mask when I get intimate with a chick instead of having a strange look on my face? I mean, you know what?
Listen, if y'all into masks and y'all put the mask on, now we getting crazy. Now it's getting crazy because we got masks on so people can hide behind the ideas of the mask. You don't know my face. Now we about to be animals in this motherfucker.
Okay. All I'm saying is, what I want to know is, how do you let somebody know that you like what they're doing or what you like? Do you just come out and say it, or do you show them? Do you?
I feel like it can be verbalized, and you can make a person feel like you love what they're doing or they're saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's harder for men to, even if you get a man who is openly comfortable with communicating, it's still hard for them to be that level of vulnerability, to provide that level of vulnerability, right? To say, I really love how this makes me feel. They might not verbalize that, right?
Yeah.
But through someone's actions, you can tell if something, you know what I mean? Like they might just grab you and hold you and kiss you and hold you.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's all hands. It's about the hand placement.
Like if a man just hold you after you just did whatever it is you was doing, and they just hold you for a second, and I'm talking about that hold where you can't move, that bare hold, like that's saying I fucking love you. Without saying it. Without saying, like, because it's like nobody's moving in it. As women, we're thinking, oh, he must have liked that shit because he not even letting me go. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, and then once you get to a certain point, he'll come spin the block later and be like, I love that shit. Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That shit you did the other night, or that shit you did last week.
But this is why, I keep going back to the original point, and then fellas, I want y'all to, speak for yourselves, right? Mm-hmm. But this is why the communication is important, and not just like, again, if I don't want a jackhammer, right? Because then you could have taken care of yourself, because it feels like you're just trying to get a nut. Like there should be some intimacy, there should be some finesse, there should be some I don't know how many of you follow Tony Baker, but he posted recently like two on on one post he said, "What does bad coochie feel like?" And then, what does bad D feel like? And
EDR.
yeah, so that also,
Baby, that's a whole other
Yeah.
podcast, okay? People feel like people have so many different opinions on bad pussy and bad dick, right? But my whole thing is this. What was your experience and your intimacy and your communication and your chemistry and just all of that? What was all of that before you got in the bed with this person? Was all that shit bad too? Because
that
that's
part.
where it starts. So was all of that shit bad too? All of that must have been bad too, because if all of that is on point and you get in the bed and maybe this person just doesn't know how to please you, one, y'all didn't have the right conversations. That's numero the fuck uno.
Mhm.
And then two, if you don't feel like you can teach them or show them the things that you like, y'all need to go back to step one.
True.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Because, baby, I done had some phenomenal experiences. I'm talking about mind-blowing experiences with some men that were well endowed and some that were not so well endowed. And I'm talking about I still had the same level of phenomenon that went on during those sexual experiences where it was like, God damn, like, damn, you know?
So I will say this.
That's because I am here for the build-up. You
Wait,
gotta give me
wait. Okay, so you gotta let the fellas.
build up.
Speak.
Oh, go ahead. What he say?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so when it comes to foreplay is the most.
Hold on. Okay. Hi, Ghostface. I just had to. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just fangirling because Ghostface is on here. Okay.
Okay.
One of y'all might have to go. Would you come on and join?
So when it
Okay.
when it comes to foreplay, that's one of the most important things, because you know what, you got to make sure the lady's taken care of first. You said that's like the ground ball. You said you get her, you really get her in the mood. She's gonna love you at that point. And that's
That build up.
like she talked about the fruit, the ice. Yes, the ice. Yes, fellas, get a bowl, put some ice in a bowl, and use that. That's
You better say that shit.
trust me. I tell you, you put the ice in a bowl, it's gonna be a whole
And
new experience for you, and
fruit
she'll love you for that.
and
Oh,
all
so
of the things
when
and the lighting,
you do that part,
music.
because again, yes, with the music, make sure that you have your playlist ready, because BeckyBrownGurl, she had that playlist challenge about a year ago or something. I think I won, but she ain't giving me my accolades on it. But I'm just joking on that. But at the end of the day, these are the things that you want to have you want to have set. Because the right playlist also will in tune with her body, her reactions, her mindset and everything, and your touch is everything. The way you caress her body, she will feel it. Holding her feet, her legs, everything like that. If you suck on toes, fellas,
Hey.
make sure that
Hold on. I would just
Women don't like cold. I did see somebody post it. For the women that don't like cold, let me put y'all fellas on game now. The oil that heats up as you rub it through your hands. For the women that don't fuck with the cold, flip it to the warm. That oil, where the more you rub it, the hotter that shit get, and you touch their, sensitive areas.
hold on. All I'm saying is that it's not a one size fits all, right? So what somebody else likes, that's why
you gotta learn your person, and that's why it's so important to have that build up, that communication, that intimacy, because you have to learn your person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so before you make that move, you say, "Hey, can I try that? Can I do that?" And if she says yes,
Like that.
with it, then you go do that. She says, "No, okay. Guess what? Option B. Go to option B. You gotta have stuff in your repertoire."
It's all about the creativity. Get creative. Don't be out here just being boring. Get creative. Like, we're not 15-year-olds hiding and having sex behind the bleachers. Like, get creative. Have fun.
Yes, get creative indeed. But again, get to know your person. person before, before you take it there with them. And that's only going to enhance the experience. Don't just kind of do what you're accustomed to doing. Communicate with the person, like, see if they actually like what you're doing. If whether you do it in the moment, after, beforehand is preferable. But again, some people don't have that level of comfort, which again to me is weird. I'm like, we're grown. Like, we're super grown. And you can't have a conversation about what pleases you, what you like. Like, so you just out here having mediocre sex and not like and not letting people know. Or if again, it might be a thing where you do it and then you're like, all right, I'm good. Or I really didn't enjoy it that much, or it was okay. And I don't have that type of connection with the person, so I'm good. Like, I'm done. I don't know. But I think if you build a connection first, then you are setting yourself up for a much more meaningful, fulfilling, and pleasurable experience.
Yes, connection
And
is
you
a
know what's really important? Spontaneity. Not being afraid to try new things that are new to both partners, where we're both experiencing this particular thing for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And just general creativeness, like the whole meeting out and redating and role playing, implementing exciting things. Like, you just can't be afraid to hold back. You gotta go all the fuck in if you want to have meaningful situations or experiences with anyone. You gotta just gotta go full throttle. Just, I'm in here. I'm the fuck in here, and now this is where we are. Like, I'm not with that shy shit. And I get that some people are more reserved. People don't even like to have conversations about sex. It's just like, it's so, like, if you open your mouth like you opened your legs. You get what I'm saying? Like, talk.
No, wait,
like,
wait.
I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know. I just feel like
Baron Lacrosse said,
people hold back so much, and it's like, we get one life, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
if these are people you feel like you want to have a meaningful experience with, create that experience. You got one life. Why not wear the mother? I always tell women, wear the motherfucking dress. Okay, take it out the closet. Stop saving it for an occasion and go out and wear it. Wear it to get coffee. Wear it to wherever. Just wear the damn dress. And I feel like that can be implemented all through life. Like, just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. Just be all in. Because once you fuck up, it's not a lot of people that let you spin the block.
So I had Michael on here, Michael Branch, like a few episodes ago, and I was doing 20 questions. And one of the questions I asked, I don't even remember what the question was because I don't think it was this specifically. What'd you say?
I was reading somebody's comment talking about marathon sex. Nobody.
No, wait, hold
on.
Let me finish this thought though. But he was saying he thinks that, that you should give somebody 3 chances. I'm like, that's too many. Because I feel like maybe a second chance.
Yeah.
If you like them, but a third for what? If after the second time you didn't hit, it's not him, then for what?
That's a ladies conversation at that point. I mean, you ladies are the ones who are having that conversation, because a guy, I mean,
well, why would you just keep having mid sex is the point.
Not giving nobody 3 nothing. No. you that guy smacked. If we hadn't had a meaningful conversation after I smacked his ass, he wouldn't have got a second chance either, because I couldn't take that face. And for the record, he never made that face again. No.
I bet.
Well,
he did.
But yeah, listen, from a guy standpoint, well, I'll say from my standpoint, first time I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to get that invite back again. I'm trying to do what I need to do to make sure that she's pleased, that she is going to be taken care of. So if she's going to talk in her group chat, if she's like, yo, this guy, he did such and such. Oh, girl, he did that. Oh, he did this. Some shit like that. Because at the end of the day, you want that call back. You want to be able to pop up when you need to pop up again had a conversation, stuff like that, and do it again. And then second time, third time, fourth time, whatever. Because that's what you want to do. Put your best out there. And like somebody was talking about, put your
Who said wearing a dress? I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off, but somebody took what I said about the dress the completely wrong way. So when I say wear the dress, I mean take it out the closet. I mean, like put yourself out there. I'm not saying actually put a dress on.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so Bola Au Pair says open communication is the key, just like we've been saying, to great mutual satisfaction. It cuts out the usually inordinate time spent on the trial and error sessions. Granted that there's a place for creativity, but you know what? Sometimes, like, have you ever been with somebody that you're like super attracted to and just not, mm-mm, it just, it's just not hitting. It's not what you expect.
Yeah,
Like
I have.
it's
yeah,
Because
mid.
had that.
not always equate to chemistry.
No, 1,000%. Like
No.
absolutely not. So,
Just because
but I think you can
you find
gauge.
somebody attractive does not mean that you're going to have a chemistry with him. And then some people that you don't always find attractive on the onset, right? You would say that's not my type. You end up having phenomenal chemistry with. Like, I never would have thought.
Right.
Who the fuck would have thought that I would be so into this person that I'm not even really attracted to? But like now, so many other things are on point. Like I feel like I really like this person.
Wait. So Clue Too Cool asks what makes it mid besides lack of effort or literal shortcomings in reference to time. Well, like I said on Tony Baker's post, I said like the stroke is off. That's why I was talking about like the rhythm is off between the two of you. They don't have a stroke. There's no finesse. It's just like it's it's like too not too aggressive. It's just like a jackhammer. It's like you're
So
literally
basically, the chemistry.
meditating inside of me. What are you doing? Like this doesn't feel like what are you doing? This is terrible. And then other things that I don't want to say because I don't
So
want to
in
hurt
a
nobody's
situation
feelings.
like that, I say that though. I'm so vocal. Like I'm saying, I'm like, okay, stop. This is what is going to. This is what's not about to happen, and this is what's going to happen. Because if we can't become in sync in this situation, then we don't need to have this situation.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And then so what does it feel like for y'all?
Synchronicity is real. Like you really need to become in sync in a situation, or it's just going to be a mess.
Yes, indeed.
So I want to address what Wes talked about. So he said dudes be learning how to fuck from watching porn.
We talked about
We
here.
talked
Exactly.
about that porn being a school teacher. Like what?
No, that's not what that's
What?
meant for at
That
all.
is not what that's for.
And they're not even equipped.
But every woman is different. So what you gonna go to porn every time you go to fucking?
But so every woman is different. But then there's some women who actually watch it. So
Yeah, but
if you
no, but the thing is, watching porn, right?
Watching
Because
porn
as
is cool.
Ebony and I had discussed earlier, is really meant more for, well, in our opinion, it's meant more as an enhancement to like, get you excited, get you in the mood,
Or
whatever.
I mean,
now
if you need it,
have you
but
watched,
just like a form of some
Enhancement,
type of
right?
excitement. It shouldn't be your teacher. Porn should not be your instructor.
Nope.
but have you
No.
watched? I'll ask you. Have you like watched it with the guy,
Yeah.
one of the guys that you were intimate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you try and replicate one of the moves or did he try to do one of the scenes that were in the?
No.
I've never had that happen before, but he could have and just didn't tell me because they ain't gonna say it. But I've never had that happen before. But I don't want you to try to replicate the porn. I want you to do your thing. Be an individual.
How many women actually would talk a man through it? You mean like through what she likes? I mean, well, clearly, Ebony be talking.
I mean, she can say
Talk my shit.
things or say something, but not like full out direction. Like, okay, do this here, do this now. Like, I mean, like, bro, if you're not fulfilling her needs, then yeah, that's
To
kind of like,
articulate myself in a way that you understand, like if I like something, or or like we need to switch this up, or however I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it in a way that you understand. Like maybe I'm not directing like Rome is describing, but I will let you know,
yeah.
like if something is working or it's not working.
And I mean, at the end of the day, some things from porn, some people take in and apply it to their sexual their bedroom forte. They'll utilize some, like I think somebody just said some women get learn how to give head from watching porn. I mean, that could be one aspect. Some have just practiced, had an abundance of practice. But you had
Practice. We talk
Or
about
or
practice.
just like
practice.
with women being instructors, men are too, because every man likes their dick sucked differently. And so they'll tell you some men like it hands, some men like it no hands, some men like that firm grip, some men don't. They like it soft and lit. Like men are different just like women are. So you have to tell them this is what I like and this is what I don't like.
West.
Yeah, Wes is a fool. Always. Wes, you should come
Porn
on.
has
Yeah, girl,
ruined
West, get on
my
here, man.
life
Get
and
on.
I couldn't get my boot
what
ghost
he
face to
say?
come on, but Wes, you should come on.
But I mean, listen. At the end of the day, when if you're enjoying the experience with the person you're with, yo, shit is fun. Life is life. Enjoy shit. And go in like the literally go the fuck in. Have fun and make sure
Wear
that.
the motherfucking dress. That's all I was saying. But listen, I love y'all so much. I have to go. My dog goes out at 9:30 and he's literally losing his mind.
Okay.
He's going
Oh,
crazy. I know. He's going crazy down there, and I can hear him barking, trying to get out of his cage.
No. You go take
So
care of that.
y'all
Let me see
have
it.
a good night. You know I'm down to get on here with you anytime. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I love you much.
I
Send
love
me
you back.
clips so that I
Yep.
can take, and I
Part
will
3.
absolutely share and everything.
Of course.
Have
Of course.
a good
Love it.
night.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ratchery. Let me see if I can get Wes to join real quick before I sign off. Or Baron Lacrosse, you had a lot to say.
Come on, fellas, get on here. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Wes is always on here. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if he will join. So do you have any other tips for the fellas?
I don't have any more tips. I can't give everything out because they're gonna start stealing my shit.
I
No,
mean, what?
I'm joking. Wes, what's good?
Each one,
What up? What up?
each one, right? So Wes, what do you have to contribute to this conversation?
Absolutely nothing. I don't even know what's going on right now.
So the point of this conversation was to talk about like how to enhance intimacy in your relations, right? Because like we talked about delaying intimacy, we talked about on that episode you were on, like you had brought up the point that some guys just have sex to do numbers, like they're just trying to get
Yeah.
wilt numbers, you said. And again, so you're missing the whole intimacy component, and you're missing the whole, like you're missing the best parts of the
Yeah,
experience.
but,
You
but
just,
but for most guys, it ain't about intimacy. It's about self-pleasure,
well, then
and that's it.
pleasure yourself. That's not that there. That's very selfish. All you're doing is getting yourself off. You're not worried about
Why
what
you
it's
yelling? Why you yelling at me, beloved?
because.
What's going on here? I'm just saying.
Nah, because I think that's
But that's what it's
facts.
about. It's about getting your numbers up, and it's about self-pleasure. A man ain't really interested in pleasuring a woman or really on that level until he's in a relationship with that woman or he really loves that woman. That's when the intimacy come in. But if dudes just meeting you, they just trying to smash. They're not thinking about intimacy and fucking being romantic and all that other
but
shit.
here's the thing, right? Besides, okay, you got a nut, okay, but like
That's the
what?
goal.
No,
That's the
but
goal of the game.
hold on. Though, what I'm saying is they're missing the better experience because they're not attempting to try to figure out what you like. It's gonna be better if you're enjoying it too, not just for him to get a nut. Go get a
Yeah.
nut by yourself.
All right, but listen, right? It's two types of dudes, right? It's two types, right? Let's break it down. It's two types of dudes. It's the dudes that's just trying to do them. They don't really care about you. They don't like you on that level that they're trying to please you. They're just trying to get what they get, do their numbers, and they bouncing. And then there's the other guy who every time he smash, he's trying to make you remember him forever.
But
It's two different type of dudes.
yeah, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, there are two different type of dudes. And at the end of the day, guess what? Some of those guys who are doing the opposite of what you just said, those guys are the ones who want to be remembered because guess what? They get the calls back. At the end of the day,
The ones that are doing numbers.
no. I
Oh,
said the ones who are
oh,
making sure that they're pleasing the woman because
yeah,
they want to get the call
right.
back. Now you
Right,
got
but then you got to understand what you want to, right? Like our old head told me one time, you can't give every woman relationship dick. You can't. Yeah, shaking your head because you can't do that to every. That's why it's like that. You can't give every woman relationship dick because then you end up in situations you don't want to be in. So
I
it's
mean,
only
hey,
Bye,
it's a
Wes.
fact.
I-
I'm just telling
no,
you.
What are we talking
I heard that,
about tonight?
but
We talking about how to enhance intimacy, and here you go. Now I should have known better, adding your
I'm just
ass.
nah, you had that. You got to add West. You got to add West to that. Like that's
God.
part of the
but
conversation.
on the real talk though, intimacy thing, I blame women for that shit. It's all y'all fault
Why?
because women, yeah, for some reason. It's, all right, let me not say I blame women, but I do because men made it so women are not comfortable with their sexuality. So women are on this closed off thing because they're always in their head when it comes to sex. I don't want to tell a man this. I don't want to tell a man that because you're always worried about how a man is going to look at you. So most women sit there being unpleased and not saying anything because they don't want to be looked at in a certain way because because dudes' egos are fragile, especially sexually. So and most women try to guard a man's ego unless you really just don't give a fuck about him. So a woman wouldn't tell men what she wants. It's very few times I've ever met a woman that will tell you how she wants to be pleased. Because as men know, every woman is not the same. You can't eat every woman coochie the same. You can't fuck every woman the same. But women won't tell you what they like or what they don't like out of fear of being judged. There's a big
You
judgment
ask
shit that goes on.
so, or you just do what you're used to doing and see if how she
Most
responds
men
to
not
it.
gonna ask because they figured if it worked with A, it gonna work with B, C, and D.
But that also comes in the communication part because if you're
Right.
talking to women that you're dealing with, you can kind of like lead to some of the parts of where you get into things where hey, you're gonna say you're gonna try this, you're gonna say hey, how does this feel? You like that, or you also seeing her reaction on some of the things that you're doing. But then it also goes back to who you are and what you're doing because if you just want to get your nut, you won't give a fuck.
Exactly.
But if you're the guy who's gonna do like hey, you like her, you
Well,
you want to keep coming back. You want to keep enjoying her company and keep it going. Hey, you're gonna do something a little bit more different.
but
You're not gonna be for the jackhammer part.
this conversation really wasn't intended for that type of guy. I mean, I just mentioned it because you had talked about it before, and obviously you're right. Those type of guys are not looking for intimacy; they're just looking to do numbers, as you said. So,
But women got to
but
change their mindset. Women got to have the mindset, like, I don't want to say thing like a man, like, because I hate that shit. But women have the mindset of, I want to get mines too. So I have to let him know what I need in order to get mines. Like, you see a lot of women always be, I ain't teaching no grown man nothing. I'm not telling him. If he don't know by now,
no,
he never knew.
no,
Nah, you can't.
no, no. I will. No, I'm either gonna let you know.
Because I hear a lot of women complain about dudes eating coochie, don't know how to eat coochie. Like, why are you just sitting there let a dude eating your coochie like a cat? You supposed to tell him, like, listen, bro, do this. I
I
like
said
do that. I like it. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing
some
that.
chicks don't know how to do it. It doesn't matter if you
But
give them
that's my
direction or
point.
not.
That
And
he
some
shouldn't be
are
going through
like,
life. He shouldn't be going through life this long not knowing because no woman was like, yo, what are you doing? Nah, do this. Most women be like, if he's doing it wrong, I'm just gonna tell him stop and that's it. Nah, you shouldn't tell him
because
stop.
hold on, because there's somebody who might have potential, right? or somebody you can tell he just doesn't know what he's doing. There's no directing him. Like it
See,
could just be specific to you. There's no directing somebody that just doesn't know what they're doing. I'm sorry.
nah, see, I grew
And
up too fast because as a
then
man,
no, and then I'm not gonna do it, and then I'm not gonna want you to do it
let me
anymore. Like I'm just
tell you
not gonna want
something.
you to
Ain't
do
no
it.
man ever stop a chick from sucking his dick. He gonna be like, yo, what you doing? That's the difference. So I said your mindset got to change. I'm never stop a woman from giving me head. I'm like,
But
yo,
can
okay.
you
But
can you
if she
tell
if
the
you,
difference?
but Wes giving you bad head, you gonna tell her you gonna stop it though.
I'm gonna tell her what to do. I'm like, I'm give a direction. I don't believe in giving up on people. I believe in people. I believe everybody got a potential to be great.
Okay. Wait. So Mr. Buddha. All right. You can't come on here if you don't show your face.
Oh shit, this is funny as shit.
What's
I'm
happening
showing
right
my
now?
face.
Huh?
I'm showing my face.
Okay. Can like with the whole face without the mask?
Oh, my son quarantined. What the
I
fuck
just I just had
going
two
on?
No
surgery.
allows? He got COVID?
I just had two surgery.
What's that?
Oh damn.
Hey, doctor?
Okay. Okay. So you had something that you wanted to share before I wrap up here?
Yeah, my feeling is that sex is a two-way street. People need to communicate with each other, either by symbols or by sound. It tells for the lady to contribute, and it tells for the guys to clearly watch the lady and see how she reacts to different moves. That's why I call it an art. It gets better with time, we practice, we repeat. But you have to have a sincerity of purpose. You have to purposefully desire to satisfy the woman too. But it's easy for men to come, but it takes a while to get a woman to where she needs to be. So, and if you care, you will be involved, and then you'll be able to read the woman. And the more you communicate to each other, what pleases each other, the better it is. Nobody comes born with the ability to just sexually satisfy a woman. It gets better only with practice. But we all don't have to be sexual whores before we could be good in bed for one another. Even if we're virgins, if we decide to talk to each other, we will find out what pleases each other. That's the beauty of it. And if we satisfy one another, there'll be repeat performances.
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed the last part of what you said. You said if you
If we
satisfy one another,
satisfy
what?
each other, there'll be repeat performances. There'll be repeat
Oh,
opportunities.
oh, oh, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, yes, yes. I mean, yeah, yes.
I don't,
I would agree. It's better to, but to Wes's point, some, and I'm gonna put it on the men. I'm sorry, but some men just want to rack up bodies, so they don't really care about getting a repeat performance because they can get a bad review, and their first response is always going to be, "But I still hit." Always.
that is true. But then
Out
they
there.
are they are
I don't
sexual adventurers. They're not looking for a relationship.
You don't
If you're
have
looking for a relationship that could be
you don't
sustained,
have to be
you work.
looking for a relationship. To me, the point of doing it, besides procreation, right, is for pleasure. So if you're not getting pleasure out of the experience, then what are you doing it for? Is what I'm
That is
saying.
true.
you're not
If
getting
you're not
pleasure. He's getting pleasure.
maximizing the pleasure, right, then what are you doing it for?
That is true. I totally agree with you.
Okay, good answer. Okay. Wes, Rome, before I go, what are your final parting words? Because I'm about to wrap this up.
go ahead, Wes.
All I'm saying is that women have to be more aggressive in the bedroom. You have to. Closed mouths don't get fed. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just give up on a man if he doesn't know what he's doing. You're already there, so you might as well see it through. You might as well see the mission through. You're already there. So let him know how you want to be pleased and what turns you on without fear of judgment. That's all. And if he's judging, he's not the one for you, and keep it moving. That's it.
Yeah. All right. When, when it, when
Hold on. Ola, is that your name?
Bola,
Ola, do you mind muting your mic for a second because I'm having a hard time hearing Rome. And it's because there's like background noise behind you.
all right.
Just for a second.
You think I can plug my phone over here
Yeah,
for a little
please,
bit?
please.
Can you mute your mic? Go ahead, Rome.
All right. So when it comes to
No,
back,
no, no, no. Can you mute your mic? Or are you done saying what you needed to say? Hello?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it done, but I'm having problem with it. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Shut up.
I don't know what's wrong with the phone. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Do you have anything else that you want to say before you sign off? No?
That's fine. I'll sign off. God bless you.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank
welcoming
you.
me.
I appreciate you joining.
And I wish you continued success with your
Thank
podcast.
you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're gonna
Wow. What the hell is it?
Yo, I am crying right now.
I'm
This shit.
having like
I'm,
deja vu of my
I'm trying to hold it together right now. This shit got me crazy right now. I'm trying to hold it together right now. Oh shit.
so so you just have to press the X in the corner.
Oh shit.
Wait, just press the X in the corner. Oh Lord. You know what? I cannot.
I think I have a faulty phone.
Oh
it's
shit.
not Wakanda.
Hold on. Shut up. Y'all are killing me.
The
I
power
can't
of the God.
close it out without okay.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Don't do that. Don't do that. He was
Shit,
spitting.
yo,
Don't do
shit. I
that.
would
Yo,
never disrespect. I would
respect it.
never disrespect
Respect
the
it.
ancestors. I
Yeah,
would
we
never
heard the
disrespect the
ancestors.
ancestors.
Today we are going
So
to talk
much. I
about what
hate
we do.
you.
Today is a day that we have risen.
What'd you say?
As I said, today is the day we have risen
Son,
to.
the ancestor has spoken, son. Like, I couldn't do nothing about that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh
I'm
my
on
God.
it right now. I'm drinking.
Oh shit.
Listen. When it comes to intimacy, let's get back on the intimacy part.
Quickly. Yes,
Fellas,
go ahead.
make sure if you are in tune with the woman who you're engaged with, knock this shit out the fucking box. At the end of the day, connect with her, make her blow her fucking mind up. Because when you set her,
Oh Lord, y'all is
Oh
killing me
shit.
right
Oh,
now.
this nigga. You was just laughing at the old dude. Your shit fucking up.
nah, 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 I got my freaking laptop, I got everything going on at the same time. Yeah, yeah. Do not start with me, brother. Do not start with me, okay? But listen, at the end of the day, if you connect with a woman and you want her to feel good, do the stuff that will give you the call back. Because at the end of the day, she's gonna love you for that. You get the
I
call.
mean, love. All right, let's not, maybe.
If you want the call back, then you're gonna do what you got to do. But if you just want the numbers, okay, you just doing that.
But okay, this once again, the intent of this
Yes, it's about
tonight's episode was not about doing numbers. It
it's
was
about connecting with the woman,
yes, for
and
people who
that's
are actually interested in something meaningful and
yes, it's
substantive
about
and
connecting.
adult
Yes,
and mature.
yes.
You
So
dig me?
connecting with the woman, doing stuff that will please her, because that's what you're here for. That's what you're there for. If you're there for that, please her. Do the things that also for yourself. Like the stuff I do, I love doing what I do. Why? Because I enjoy it. And it also pleases her. And as I'm pleasing her, guess what? I'll get the call back. And then we get to do some other things. But that's when it comes to intimacy and you do certain things out of that. But I'll let you get back to your show and wrap it up. So
Okay.
All right, later.
Deuces to the two of y'all. Thank you for joining me.
how do I exit this? I do not understand.
Stop. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Oh Lord, I got to stop making random additions. No, I'm wrapping up now. So I'm sorry you came on too late. I would have added you too, but I've been on here too long. So I'm gonna add you for 5 minutes. 5. Be quick. Okay? Really quickly. Really quickly. Thank you, Henry.
First of all, we're not talking about intimacy and me talking about quick. That's
Well,
not what's
tonight
happening.
we talking about it quickly because I've been on here
But
a minute.
no,
So
no, no, that's cool.
I would would just like to add that my boo was on here. He didn't actually, come on and show his face. No, I'm not adding anybody else after. I'm
So
sorry. Whoever that
Becky,
was
you
that just
single.
sent me. Huh?
They ask you, Becky, you single. That's what they say.
Yeah, I respond to some comments. Anyway,
Said my boo.
moving on. So give me your spiel before I wrap it up on
What
intimacy.
spiel? Um,
On intimacy.
um, so I agree with the last brother you had on. So I think men are taught to possess, right, and to conquer. I think that when you possess, you take from the center, and there will never, like, as long as you take from the center, there will always be emptiness. I think that instead of possessing, we should look to serve our spouses, serve our partners, serve our significant others. And as long as you serve, what you're doing is you are giving to the center, and you are asking that person, would they receive what you are giving, right? And I think that as men, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to offer and serve. And then as women receive, there will always be something in the middle. And I think out of the abundance of what's in the middle, um, we get service as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you get pleasure from pleasing. Yes. That was what I took from what you said. But
Not just pleasure from pleasing.
okay, so then what?
So
So then elaborate, but quickly. I'm sorry.
so
You just
no
came
no
on at the end. Like I was literally about to wrap this up. So only because I know that you might actually say something worth hearing, I wanted to give you, a few minutes.
yeah.
But go ahead.
So so not just pleasure from pleasing. That's not that you just take pleasure from making her pleased, right? But then because she is pleased, then she is more than willing to pleasure, right? That
Mhm.
that's what I mean. So so is the overflow. Um,
Got you.
yeah.
I got some fools in these comments, so don't mind them. um, Thank you, Mr. Buddha. Okay, yeah, however you say your last name. Um,
All right. That's all I had.
that's it.
So I'm gonna roll on.
No, because they were like, "Oh, this is gonna take more than 5 minutes." See, don't be talking about my friend like that.
Mhm.
Never mind. I got some
I mean,
jokers.
this is the thing. It's funny because they making fun in the chat. Here's the thing. When we talk about sex and we talk about worship, like that's the same thing.
Okay, is that the statement that you want to leave on?
So if you're doing it right, you should be on your knees at the altar,
Okay,
right?
okay,
And
y'all
and
spitting.
when we are in the spirit, so sex is just as much of a spirit work as it is a body work. And most men don't know how to touch the spirit because most men just get satisfied with touching your body. But
Is y'all
patience,
listening? Okay, go ahead.
patience and listening will allow you to hear a woman's body, about her body soul connection. There's this place between the body and the soul where you can exist if you know what to do.
No.
I'll leave it there. The rest, the game is not to be told; it's meant to be sold. So I have
Bars.
us. So I'll leave it there. But yeah,
Okay. And I hope y'all were paying attention, y'all jokers in the comments. I need to have you back on here.
we can
I,
have a deep.
you know, I,
That's a deeper conversation,
I,
but we
I
can
should
get
have. No,
into
I
it.
should have had you here with Ebony. But anyway, all right. So I appreciate you all for joining. You can see yourself out, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, all right.
And once you sign off, Yes, amen indeed. So yeah. So hopefully y'all understand how important communication is. Don't be afraid to speak up and express what you desire, what you want. As I said earlier. Nah, I've been on here too long already, so y'all are crazy. Anyway, um, so I appreciate you all once again for joining. I will see you. I think I'll see you next Wednesday. And I'm out. These two fingers.